Hello, I'm Allison Tao from the American Chemical Society. Welcome to this media briefing from ACS Fall 2022. From ice cream to lattes, vanilla is one of the most popular spices in the world. It's also the second most expensive and one of the most labor-intensive to produce. But shortcuts like quick curing methods or switching to artificial vanilla lead to a less tasty product. Understanding the chemistry behind why we like this spice so much could help manufacturers and farmers develop a better tasting product and improve quick curing methods. At the ACS meeting, scientists are reporting a profile of 20 key chemicals found in vanilla bean extracts, including several previously unknown ones, that together create vanilla's complex and enjoyable flavor. We're joined today by Dr. Paola Ferrero and Dr. Devin Peterson from The Ohio State University. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting us.
It's our pleasure.
So I'd like to start off by asking about the background behind your research. So why is it important to identify the compounds behind the complex flavor of vanilla?
So since vanilla is a well-established staple ingredient all over the world, it has been widely studied and more than 200 compounds have been identified so far, including a huge variety of chemical structures. However, most of the studies have been focused on the analysis of volatile compounds, which are basically the compounds associated with the aroma perception. And among them, vanillin has been recognized as the single most characteristic compound. However, the flavor is like a complex sensation, and it includes like a lot of different interactions among the aroma, the taste, and other sensations that you perceive when you are eating a food. Thus, providing a more holistic understanding of the molecules that are contributing to this complexity of the vanilla flavor perception and the drivers of liking behind that opens an opportunity for further discovery and product optimization also. So in this way, we can add commercial value to the vanilla ingredients and provide consumers with higher quality products that they like also.
Great. So I guess, can you give us a background of why vanilla is so difficult to produce or why it's so expensive?
Yes. So this is it's very expensive because it's one of the most labor-intensive crops in the world. Just to give a little background, vanilla comes from an orchid plant. In general, orchids are very hard to keep alive, and they have also a very short flowering period. So when the flowers are set, the beans are harvested. We can take up to 8 months. And once they are harvested, they have to be cured and they have to be dried also. So the whole process from harvesting to export, it can take up to a year. So yes, and from these all these processing steps, one of the most important is the curing process. So the curing process can last up to 9 months, and it's basically a process that takes like 4 main steps, but is very important because it's key for the flavor development and for the release of the compounds that contribute to the flavor as we know it, right? That is very complex, it's very pleasant, it's very attractive for consumers. So we have basically 4 main steps that you can see in one of the slides. One of the steps, the first one is the dipping, which is basically it stops the growth of the bean and releases all the enzymes that are needed to produce all the flavor compounds. That is a process that usually takes like a few minutes. The second step is the sweating. This step involves maintaining like the heat stored during the initial step for as long as possible. And in this step, the flavor generation is initiated by all different chemical and enzymatic reactions. This process usually takes from 7 to 10 days. Then we have the third step, which is basically the drying of the vanilla beans. This is to stabilize the product and decrease the moisture content from around 80 to 30%. And the process take 1 to 3 months. And the final step is the conditioning. This is the preservation of the product, and also it promotes like the aromatic maturation over time. This process can last up to 6 months, but preserves and enhances the aroma. This is also the bean's final form of storage. So they are often chipped at this stage before the conditioning is complete. So those are like the main 4 steps.
Okay, so I'd like to hear a little bit more about your research next. So how did you go about investigating the compounds that give vanilla its flavor?
So we use a methodology that we call flavoromics. This is a relatively new approach used to identify flavor actives in samples. It consists of the analysis of a wide range of metabolites or compounds with different properties and concentrations. And we use for these different analytical techniques, such as gas chromatography, liquid chromatography. We couple to different mass spectrometry instruments. Then we model all this information, all this chemical information. We model with sensory data that we obtain from consumers. So during this test, we asked frequent consumers of vanilla products how much they liked or disliked the different samples that they are testing. And we obtained from there a number that we called the liking score. So with all the chemical information and all these liking scores from the consumers, we use some statistical tools to generate highly predictive models. And these allow us to select chemical compounds that are highly predictive of liking. So after that, those compounds are then sensory validated. So usually we take those compounds and we add it to the different samples and perform again different consumer acceptance tests to validate how much they are impacting the flavor perception, and we tested with consumers.
Awesome. So what did you learn from the vanilla flavor profiling?
Well, we learned a lot. We were able to identify, the main drivers of vanilla flavor liking. Some of them are well known to be present in vanilla, but this is the first time that we are actually reporting these compounds are influential for the vanilla flavor liking. We also identified some unknown compounds that not only are reported for the first time in vanilla, but also they are highly predictive of vanilla liking and disliking. So yes.
So did you uncover anything unexpected about why people like or dislike vanilla flavor?
Well, here it was most about identification of compounds, individual compounds. So we use individual compounds, we use mixture of compounds, and we validate the information about how much they change the perception. So yes.
One quick thing to add is that what was also maybe a noteworthy outcome from Paola's work is that we actually can, from the non-volatile side. So again, as she mentioned, most of the work on vanilla has really been related to the aroma. And she has identified non-volatiles, 2 actually say on the that are very much driving liking, and actually 2 that we can show drive disliking. So again, putting a little bit more perspective to the complexity of perception and certainly aroma being a very characteristic aspect to vanilla. But what are the other, you would say, components of the flavor, you'd say perception that are important for the overall consumer behavior, I think is something that we're going to be able to demonstrate in a novel way when she presents her data.
Awesome. Okay, so I guess to wrap up, so how can this knowledge be used to make better vanilla, or what's one key takeaway that you'd like people to know about your research?
Well, this knowledge will allow us to improve the ability to tailor the vanilla quality and also add value, right? By promoting or inhibiting like the generation of specific compounds that we know that are impacting the liking or disliking in the product. So all this information will give the tools to the whole vanilla supply chain, from farmers to the industries. We can include strategies for breeding, curing processes, as well as improve formulation of products and compete with high quality vanilla goods, and also improve consumers' acceptance and liking, right? Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we are also using a very like innovative research approach, which is this flavonomics, that also allow us to identify all those drivers of liking or disliking. Yeah.
Thank you, Paula and Devin, for sharing your research with us.
Thank you for inviting us.
It is our pleasure.
Be sure to check out our other media briefings for ACS Fall 2022, which will be posted throughout the meeting at acs.org/ACS Fall 2022 briefings.